Hey guys, it's me, Johnny Crimson 2000 here, finally back to finish my Project Justice Let's Play, or my Project Justice coverage I should say. So here I'm going to be spending this video to cover some of the extra features that are in Project Justice, just a little run through at everything else besides arcade. And starting off, I'm going to be showing off the secret characters, all of them, including the normal secret characters as well as the extra students, which I'll get to later on. So basically, if you've been watching my Let's Play, you've seen how to unlock these secret characters. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see how you're going to be able to unlock them, although if you've been keeping up with my Let's Play so far, I've been going over how to do so. But anyway, here we go. We're going to start off with Roy Bromwell, and for every one of these, I'm going to be going up against Hideo because I just hate him so much. So here we go. This is Roy Bromwell. He's basically just a Capcom's attempt to, I guess, take a jab at SNK's Terry Bogard, as I mentioned before. He's pretty basic, I would say. He's actually considered top tier. One of the few that I've seen the tier for that he's actually top tier. He's okay. If you know what Terry Bogard's move list is, you'll automatically know what to expect from this guy. There's the Power Wave. There's the Burning Tackle, or the Burning Punch, is it? I don't know. Here's Tiffany Lords. Tiffany Lords is a cheerleader, believe it or not, and she is from the same school as Roy. I think that they actually do go out storyline-wise. Tiffany otherwise has this really unique grabbing move, shall I say, where she uses her extremities to her advantage, for lack of a better term. She's very nimble, she's very quick. Her punches, though, are very ranged, if I do say so myself. She's better off with her kicks, if anything else. And this is Batsu. Batsu, if you kept up with my Let's Play, is pretty much just Kurow in disguise. And this is, in my opinion, just another attempt to create another Batsu character. There's, I believe, like a total of like 3, not including the extra characters that kind of share his same move list. But Batsu pretty much plays like a combination between regular Batsu and Kurow. Just the same moves. There's nothing really special about him. I don't often choose him. He's pretty quick, but I think this character can just, I guess, be listed as somebody that's really just a storyline character and nothing else. Here's the other Batsu version that I was talking about. This is Burning Batsu, or Batsu, I guess, not without a V. Burning Batsu really isn't that different from regular Batsu. He does add a little bit other moves, like that one, the rising uppercut, Shoryuken, if you will, and he does add that kick, I believe. It's been a while since I played Project Justice. His fireballs burn, and he does this move right here, which is just a bunch of punches, which kind of remind me of Kyo from King of Fighters. Aside from that, he's not that special, not that different, honestly. This is Wild Daigo. This is another alternate version of a character. Wild Daigo, really? I don't have much to say. He's just another, I guess, more powerful version of Daigo, storyline-wise. He's kind of like an untamed, you know, without him holding back his power, I guess, or I guess a power above that he normally doesn't have. I'm not sure. Gameplay-wise, there's not much different from him, looks or gameplay-wise. Powered Akira is another version of Akira. The game loves its different versions of characters. Powered Akira really, I think, is the more different one between all the different character versions. She has extra moves that she doesn't have normally. She's a bit quicker, I think. Just some of her moves, I think, just come off a little faster. That may just be me. But some of her moves are definitely a lot better. Her specials are definitely a lot better, in my opinion. And she's just more ranged, in my opinion. She's just a better character from Akira. I have more fun with Powered Akira than I do with regular Akira. And here's Hio. Hio is, of course, the one of the final, well, I guess not in this game. He was the final boss in the original Rival Schools. In this game, he's kind of just like a sub-boss for some characters. Not all of them. And he serves more of a purpose in the story than he does in the actual arcade or the gameplay. He's, of course, being a boss or a former boss, he does have his range, he does have his high priority moves, and he's just cool looking. What can I say? Here is Kurow. Here is the main protagonist of the story in Project Justice. As you would expect from a boss, he is quick, he does have high priority moves, he's pretty ranged. One of his better moves, I would think, is one where he actually sucks off the life force from the opponent, drains their life, and brings it back to his own. So that's a little way of recovering a little bit of energy, but of course it does require that you spend a special power, or a super. This is the move right here, and as you saw before, he also has a counter move that you can use. And this is Demon Hyo. Demon Hyo, oh, we saw Demon Hyo so many times in the story mode. Do I really need to explain him? Demon Hyo is the final boss of Project Justice. You face him with every single story, every single team, including the Darkside Student Congress. Demon Hyo is, of course, typical of a boss. He has very high range, he has very high priority moves. I honestly don't have that much fun playing as him. I don't particularly like playing as bosses because of that. It's just too easy. So anyway, we're moving away from the regular unlockable characters, and we're now moving on to the extra characters. The extra characters are something that were added onto the American version of Project Justice. The Japanese version actually had a create a character mode, but unfortunately we didn't get that. So we were stuck with a bunch of pre-made characters, and this is what we got stuck with. A bunch of randomly created characters that have a combination of looks and moves. Some of them don't make sense. Here we go, we start off with Alec. By the way, every single character you unlock by beating story mode, they are all unlocked in order, so Alec is always going to be the first one, John is always going to be the last one. Alec is pretty average in my opinion. He's kind of just like the Ryu of the extra students. He has a couple moves from Batsu, he has a couple moves from Ryu. Really, there's not much else, even look-wise. He kind of just looks like a, you know, what Ryu would look like if he went to school, sort of. Maybe more so with Kyo from King of Fighters. But that's Alec. This is Barbara. Barbara is just another schoolgirl. You'll find a lot of times that these guys don't have particularly that interesting things to, as far as their looks are concerned. This one in particular, however, her moveset is what sets her apart. I find that she has a lot of moves that kind of resemble Chun-Li, especially this kick right here. She has that rising kick that I forgot the name of what it's called from Chun-Li's movesets, but she does have it. And she does have that. Here we go, the multi-kick thing, and this is the rising kick thing. I'm horrible with names. But yeah, that's Barbara. The Chun-Li of Project Justice, or rather the Chun-Li of extra characters, the extra students. This is Mark. Mark is, I like Mark. Mark, if any of you guys know that 70s show, I'm actually a big fan of it. Does this guy not remind you guys of Hyde from that 70s show? With the afro and the shades. It just screams Hyde from that 70s show. Aside from that, Hyde is pretty average. He has a couple moves. He has that roll that kind of reminds you of Ken. A lot of his moves have to do with fire, so maybe that's his gimmick or whatever. Aside from that, he just has, like every other extra student in this game, he just has a combination of a lot of weird moves from different characters. This is Tony. Tony is interesting because he actually has a sword, and that immediately sets him apart from a good 70-80% of the other extra characters, the extra students in the game. Tony, I feel, was a lost opportunity for Project Justice. I felt that this could have been a perfect chance to create a Hayato inspired character. If you don't know, Hayato is from Star Gladiator. I did a Let's Play of Plasma Sword if you want to see more about him. But yeah, that was Tony. This is Nancy. Nancy is kind of like a combination of all the different sports characters from Goren High. Goren High, of course, having the theme of being the sporty school. So she has a lot of moves that come from them. She has, obviously, Shoma's bat. She has Roberto's, I think she has, there it is, Roberto's kick thing that he does. And of course she has Shoma's special, where she throws the baseball. I'm pretty sure she has another one from well, there's the swimmer's move right there. Forget their name. This is Eliza. Eliza, really, I couldn't find that much interesting about her. She has interesting hair, I guess. It's very contrasty to her outfit. You know, red, blue, and white. I'm pretty sure Capcom's trying to make a statement here about the United States of America, maybe? I don't know. So anyway, Eliza has a couple more of the sports-related moves. There you see she has the volleyball throw. And she has the, right there, she's kicking her feet as if she were in the water. Aside from that, there's not much else to say about her. This is Peter. Peter's actually pretty interesting. His looks are pretty bland, but Peter actually has a bunch of the moves from Zangief from Street Fighter. And apart from that, I consider him to be kind of like really the only wrestler type character in all of Project Justice, and it's kind of sad considering that he's actually not even a main character, so he doesn't necessarily exist in the canon of Project Justice. The closest that Project Justice gets to having a wrestler is Gon, and he's more a sumo wrestler than anything. So as you can see here, he has the spinning pod driver, he has the spinning lariat, and this awesome move right here, which just completely dominates. But that's Peter, the wrestler, I guess. This is Thelma. Thelma is another schoolgirl. Like I said, the movesets here kind of, or rather the looks of these extra students isn't particularly anything to write home about. But Thelma, really, all I could think of to say about her is that she likes to spin. A lot of her moves, including this one, which is one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure she's the only character in the entire game that actually has that big swinging move. Which, by the way, looks hilarious when you do it on certain characters, including Gon, because Gon is huge. But that's Thelma. She likes to spin. This is David. David, I swear to God, screams Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho. His hair and his mannerisms. You know how Kuwabara was kind of like this gang member or whatever in Yu Yu Hakusho? If you have never seen Yu Yu Hakusho, that joke just went completely over your head. But besides that, David can pretty much just replace any of the guys from Daigo's gang. And in fact, I'm not sure, but somebody that looked like him may have been in one of the artworks in story mode for Daigo's story. That was redundant. This is Claudia. Claudia is really the only interesting thing about her is her hair. It's green. And really, I couldn't find what her gimmick is. You could say that it's music, but then she has other weird moves, like she kicks a lot. And then she has Kyosuke's little move set right there. So really, she's just like a cluster of different moves from all different kinds of characters. I don't think she particularly has any kind of gimmick. She doesn't have any moves that come directly from one school or even one theme, like the other ones that have like sports theme. She's really just there. This is Frank. Frank, look-wise, kind of reminds me of Naruto. And yes, oh my god, I am making a Naruto reference in one of my videos. But don't you get that? Blonde hair, headband. Aside from that, gameplay-wise, he has a lot of heavy-type moves. But I mean by that is that he has some of Gon's moves, some of his sumo moves, and really when I see people do that, they just reminds me of somebody who's like heavy, you know, like somebody who's like very imposing. And he does look like a pretty imposing character. He looks very built. Anyway, this is Anna. Anna has a very interesting moveset. Aside from the fact that she has a lot of swimming type moves, she has one particular move, or actually two, where if she hits, it is instant dizzy animation, and she's the only one she's the only character in the entire Project Justice game that has a move like that can instantly dizzy somebody. And there it is, right there. She headbutts you. Actually, I was wrong. There's only one move in the entire game that does that. If she does that, it's instant dizzy, and you're dizzy for I'm not particularly sure how long, but it's still cool to have that. And if anything, you can use her just to use that move. Anyway, this is Grace. Grace is rather interesting. If you guys are familiar with King of Fighters 2003, there's a character in there named Malin, who is this schoolgirl. She's on the schoolgirl, high school girl team in that game. And her gimmick is that she pulls out a bunch of different weapons and stuff like that, including knives and swords and stars, and this one just reminds me of her. And in fact, this game actually came out before King of Fighters 2003, about 2 or 3 years before it even, I would assume, started being developed. So I would argue that maybe she got the inspiration from this character. Not sure. Hillary, oh boy. If you guys are unfamiliar, the original Rival Schools actually contained or had a guest appearance by Sakura from the Street Fighter series. For whatever reason, Project Justice didn't make her return. So instead, we got Hillary. Hillary pretty much just replaces Sakura. We didn't get Sakura herself, but we got Hillary, who has pretty much all of Sakura's movesets. As you guys can see here, she even has some of her kicks. She has the fireball, she has the anti-air fireball. She has this move right here, and she has her kicking move, which I, for the love of me, cannot remember what the name is. But yeah, Hillary, whatever, it's Sakura. And this is George. George, poor George. George is probably the suckiest character in the entire game, and in fact, I take the time here to show off his command list because he only has 4 moves. 3 special moves and 1 super move, which when you'll see the super move, you'll kind of feel sorry for him because it just does not fit him at all. So this one, all I can say is that he's kind of like the joke character of Project Justice. The Rival School series doesn't necessarily have a joke character like Street Fighter does with Dan, and I would assume that George is probably like their attempt at having some type of a joke character. And yeah, that was George. Poor George. And we go from the weakest character in the game to the most overpowered character in the entire game. I would argue even more overpowered than Demon Hio. This is John. John is the last character that you will ever unlock in any mode, I think. Actually, yeah, because you unlock the other characters with story mode. John is the last extra character that you will unlock, and all of his moves are super moves. So I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is quarter circle forward and pressing a button, and he's doing these moves. Normally, to do super moves, you'll do quarter circle forward twice and then press a button, or quarter circle back twice and press a button. This is not so. You perform these moves like you would any regular special move, and he does these moves, and I'm pretty sure that he doesn't take any super stock. As you can see there, it's ridiculous. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to be showing off what the League Battle is going to look like. League Battle, really, it's just a round robin type mode. I decided to show it off a little bit just because it's so unique. As you can see there, you pick your team, and you can pick up to 6 teams, and the way that it works is that your team must fight every other team, obviously aside from yourself, and when you win a match, you win a point. So every team does this, and whatever team gets the most points wins. The only reason I decided to show this is because it's so unique, because I honestly don't know any other fighting game that does this kind of a tournament mode. Or rather, it's a league mode, but I don't know any other fighting game that does this. Normally, they just have like regular tournament mode. And as you can see, there are 2 different kinds of mode. There's League Battle, and then there's Tournament Battle. League Battle, as you can see there, is play a round-robin tournament from up to 6 teams. The number of wins will determine your rank. Tournament Battle, however, is more akin to what you would normally find in other fighting games, which is just a elimination type thing. So anyway, we go on to Extra Mode, and there are a couple of more extra modes that are pretty unique to Project Justice. Here you see a stage viewer. Basically, all you can do is pick a stage, and you view it. That's pretty much it. There's really not much else, and considering that these stages aren't that elaborate, there's not much to them. I must say, though, that my favorite stage to look at is Gorin High School, the Gorin Dome, which I'm going to be showing off here in a little bit. And the only reason is because it is probably the most animated stage of them all. There you see a blimp flying inside the dome, which I don't know how safe that is. You see the roof of the stadium coming unopened. Here you see the entire like stadium like transforming and stuff like that. What kind of high school has this type of a stadium? And fun fact, on the video thing, the big video screen, I show it off here. It has cameos of various different Capcom fighting games that were released around this time. There's there's Street Fighter 03, otherwise known as Street Fighter Alpha 3 for Americans, Capcom vs. SNK, the original one, and Power Stone 2. So that's pretty neat. And here we go for the story of the arcade mode, which basically all it does is that as you go along beating story mode, you unlock the chance to view the story mode here. So basically it just allows you to watch the cutscenes and stuff like that without actually having to go through and play the game. It's a nice little feature, and honestly the only reason I would think to do this is just to show off the story mode without having to go back and play the entire mode all over again, which is actually what I did a couple times throughout my Let's Play. And here we go, you have your standard BGM. Throughout this entire video you've been listening to Rooftop, which is one of my personal favorites. I mean, you've been listening to a bunch of different ones, but Rooftop happens to be my personal favorite. And here of course you have an option to listen to all the sound clips. So if you were to ever want to listen to your favorite character's voice over and over again, don't know why, here's the option to do so. It's a nice little feature. I think more games should have this, honestly. And finally, here we go, you can see the credits and finally the ranking, which just shows you how well you do. As you can see, mine are the top 4 because I have no friends that wants to play this game. But anyway, guys, that's it. I hope you liked this little video, and stay tuned for some more videos coming from me.